Hi there. My name is Russ Horn, and I'd like to briefly take a look at the power of observation. We're going to take a look at a couple of different markets and just make some very basic market assessments based on what it is that we're currently seeing. Now, this is the Euro USD. We're looking at the 4-hour time frame. We'll be looking at the 4 hours for these three different pairs that we're looking at, just so you can see that they are going to be a little bit different. But right now, what we're looking at is a very sideways market. We're seeing a market that has found itself a top and it's found itself a bottom, and we can draw a square around this, and we can see that the market is struggling to get beyond these levels. Now, if your trading strategy has you taking a trade long or short in this area, and you're going for this monster kind of trade, something that is much bigger than this range, for example, and I can zoom out, we can see this a little better. If you're looking for a trade that is going to trigger inside, and you're looking to get a huge trade out of this, this may not be the best kind of trade to take. We want to see that the price gets out of this range before we're looking at making some kind of bigger trade. Right now, the better kind of trade would be something on a smaller time frame that is contained within this kind of window, within this kind of range. We want to take a look at what the market has recently been able to do. We can kind of get an idea of what it can't do. And right now, it would be a struggle for the market to break out and make some significant move. So we want to keep the trading within the range until we actually get a breakout. Now, I've got a saying that you've probably heard, and it's served me well over the years, and that is the market's going to do what it does until it stops. And essentially what I'm doing is assuming the market is going to keep doing what it's doing. In this case, the market is range bound. So I want to make that assumption that the market is going to continue to be range bound. I don't want to be placing a trade that is going to take this market way outside of this range when I don't see the evidence that that is possible. The next pair we're going to take a look at is the Euro Japanese Yen. Now, this one is trending. We do have a market that is moving, but it's not moving very well. And I'm going to show you how I know this just by looking at what we're seeing. And we're going to take a look at the swing highs on this particular move and how the swing lows are interacting with those swing highs. So I'm just going to take my trend line tool and draw a line across this swing high. So I've got this swing high here, and we can see that when the price moves above this swing high, there isn't much of a market movement that follows. And when we do get a pullback, it pulls back lower than that swing high. And we could do that again with this next swing high. We can see that when the market makes a move beyond this level, that it does not move very far. And when it makes a pullback, it pulls back lower than that previous high. And one more time, we can see that again, the market makes this move, but then it pulls back significantly lower than that previous high. Now, although the market is trending, we don't want to be looking for the kinds of trades that we need to close above these current swing highs. We don't want to be looking for so much of a support resistance kind of trade right now, because what we're seeing is that the market cannot give us that kind of trade. It can trigger a trade, but it's not going to deliver on that kind of trade. So when we're taking a look at this market, we want to take that into account. And now finally, the last one that we're taking a look at is the pound Japanese yen. Now this market looks very similar to the previous market, but it is trending much nicer. We are having a market that is moving with much more momentum. And I'm going to draw the same kind of lines, and we'll see how this works. We've got a market that moves up, very nice and aggressive, and it makes a pullback, but it's not a huge pullback. And then it makes a nice move forward. And we can see that happens a few times in here. Now, if I take my trend line tool again and just mark off this swing high, we can see that the price breaks through that swing high and it makes a one-to-one move. The distance between the move above this swing high and this swing low is about the same as what the market was able to deliver. And we can do this again. And I can move this to the next swing high, and we can see we've got a 2-to-1. We have this market movement, this pullback that wasn't huge. It wasn't a really strong pullback, but we got this really nice move forward. So when I go to this next one, I could assume something similar is going to happen. Now, this is not going to work 100% of the time. Nothing in Forex works 100% of the time. But when I'm making this kind of evaluation, I want to take a look at what the market has done, and that gives me an idea of what the market can do. So the trading system I'm using, if it's a trend following system, I want to be looking for markets that have a really nice trend to them. If it's a trading system that is built for a range bound market, I don't want to be trading a market that is trending. I want to be trading a market that is more range bound. So I want to pair the market to the trading system I'm using. And really the best way to do that is just by taking a look at the market and just using those senses of observation. The fancy term for this is market analysis. But what we're doing is just paying attention to how the market's moving and making that assumption that the market is going to continue to move that way. It's a good assumption to make. It's one of the only assumptions that I can make based on the market, because a range-bound market can stay range-bound for quite a while. I want it to prove otherwise before I start placing trades with the trend. And again, with the trending markets, they can trend for longer than you think. I want to keep trading in the direction of the trend with trend type trades. This is a quick follow-up. This is the day after, and I just wanted to check on those different currency pairs and see what has changed, if anything at all. When we're observing the market, it really is important to make that assumption that the market's going to continue to do what it's been doing. Now, this is the Euro USD, and we were looking at a market that was going very sideways. And the next day, nothing has changed. The market is still going very sideways, and there is nothing really any different with this. It hasn't broken out. It hasn't made any substantial moves. There's no nice way to trade this right now. The Euro Japanese Yen is the next one, and we were looking at the price as it was bottoming out. And what's happened now is a continuation, and it is doing the same thing that it has been doing. It made a breakout above this swing high, and it continued a little bit further, and it's starting to make that pullback. If I take this trend line and duplicate it and place it back on this area of resistance, we can see that the price has again broken a little lower than this previous area of resistance. And that is something that we were looking at, and it seems to be a theme right now. So the market did make a move, but the momentum to push it through just wasn't there. It went through, it triggered a trade potentially if you're looking at a support and resistance type trade, but then it pulled back immediately. And finally, the last one was the pound Japanese yen. And again, we were looking at the market in this area down here. And what's happened is a nice push through, as we had seen over and over again. Again, if I duplicate this trend line and we look at the previous level and even the previous level before that, we can see that the price was breaking through and then pulling back and not getting to that area of resistance, but making a really nice push forward. And again, this was the same incident here. It pulled back, didn't get to that previous area of resistance, but the push forward was really, really nice. We did more than 1-to-1 on this. Again, this is just a reminder of how important this is to make those kinds of observations about the market before you're looking to place a trade. All right, I hope this video was helpful, and I will see you in the next video.